Alright guys, welcome to Full Spectrum Warriors. This is where we go to the official Star Citizen forums and see what everybody's going on about. First up we have High Flyer with "If you don't like it, don't play it" in alpha. It seems like the brown nose community doesn't like other paying customers to voice their opinions or concerns when we are unsatisfied with any aspect of development. We have the right to complain. If you don't like it, don't reply in the comments. That is bait right there. That's absolutely bait as hell. This guy has kicked off a lot of infighting on Spectrum today. Absolute weapons grade bait right there. But they also have a point. The whole "if you don't like it, don't play it" argument does my freaking head in. Honest to God. It's the stupidest argument I've ever heard. Oh, you care about a thing so much that you have complained when it isn't working. Just don't play it. Bro. What? It's an alpha part, there's not really much you can say about that. It's genuinely an alpha, factually accurate, even though a rather tedious excuse these days for a lot of things, basic things like inventory not working, etc. In fact, to me, the worst one is, if you don't like it, don't buy it. CIG releases a skin, but it's in a pack with an armor that I don't like, and I'm like on Twitter moaning about it, and some guy's like, "If you don't like it, just don't buy it." And I'm like, I do like it. That is the point. You absolute imbecile. But yeah, that is a good start to Full Spectrum Warriors. That's how we rolling today. Reclaimer needs at least one medbed. If the Reclaimer is supposed to be a large scale vessel meant to be fully crewed and exist out in space for extended periods of time, why does it not have at least one medical bed? I mean, I've never thought about that, but that is a good point. I don't think it's unrealistic to expect large scale vessels. There's no actual need to read out the argument. Dude wants the Reclaimer to have a medbed, yay or nay. Let's see what the guys are saying in the comments. Also, we need a place to put the body after it gets infected with xenomorph eggs. Yeah, it's called the engine room, dude. You know, where it's nice and warm. It's got to be a specific temperature. Also, so that when you need to like overload the reactor core or some crap, you need to go all the way into the heart of the nest to do it. That's just how it is. Nope, not every large ship needs medbeds. The Orion is a capital class and no news of medbeds for that one either. Bring along an Apollo, a Galaxy Medical, or even a Cutlass Red. Well, I mean, yeah, but no, ship that size should probably have a med bay anyway, I would say. I mean, this is the perfect answer. Where's the guy with the freaking face hugger gonna lie if there's no med bay? We're out salvaging on derelict worlds. Who knows what's living there? You know, parasitic creatures and stuff in the future. Strange new worlds, dude. Like, don't know what's growing there. You don't know what's in that atmosphere. You don't, like, you know, so many things can go wrong. Medbay, let's have it. Probably not gonna happen though. But again, that's just my opinion. Oh yeah, I didn't do my disclaimer. So, these are opinions. You are free to agree, disagree, and strongly disagree in the comments below. Have at it. Let's hear the counter arguments and get into the weeds. It's good to talk. Here is why you always pull the wrong weapon. When you only have one gun equipped, it will by default go to your left weapon slot, as seen from behind. But when you pull the weapon out and holster it, it goes into the right slot. Really? Are you kidding me? If you only have one weapon equipped, you won't notice because either key will pull the weapon. But as soon as you equip another weapon, like picking it up from an NPC, the slots will be swapped from what you expect. How it should be. Primary slot should be the left slot, and when you pull the gun, it should return to the left slot when stowed. The left slot should be primary, as only the right slot can hold speciality weapons like railguns, etc. Damn. Okay. Weapon came off the right and went back on the right. Weapon came off the left and went back on the left. Okay, here's it going wrong. So it came off the left. Yep. And when he holsters it, it goes to the right. Madness. Well, now you know. There's an issue council report there. I'll link it below. Cigars. We have beer in game. Time for some Havanas, CIG. This would make 4.4 release. Could be called Star Stogie. Eventually, there's some medical gameplay in there. I mean, yeah. Don't give them ideas, but yeah. The Cutlass Steel trailer. No 100k med gel until all bugs are fixed. I don't know, bro. Yes, I like the idea that we should stop endless respawning, but since I helped testing this game, in 99% of all cases I died because of bugs, or had to press backspace. press next on that one, buddy. Paying 100k for every bug is, how do I say it nicely, not a good idea. Do not introduce such game mechanics before polishing the game. Okay, so who's going to test the bugs related to paying 100k for Medgel and to see if that works in the economy and, you know, all the other knock-on effects that that's going to have? Who's going to test all those bugs, dude? Needs to be in the game to find out if it works. Good news, you don't have to pay 100k to respawn. God damn it, Hanzo, that is a response. Granted. But you know what you're doing there. Nah, 100k. We need to see how it works, we need to see how it plays, we need to see how it handles. Get it in the game. UEE, where are you? Immersion versus player power in Stanton. Okay, I've read ahead. This guy basically got his squad whale hammered by a couple of Idris. He's wondering where the freaking hell the UEE controlled space is and why aren't they intervening. In earlier builds we had UEE ships guarding the stations, now there are none. Is this intentional? Yeah, it's a good point. I think they just had to take all that stuff out. Likely something to do with server mission. That's when most things seem to disappear, to get refactored, but they have just introduced dropships back into the outposts. So I'm thinking that things are going to start bleeding back in, hopefully in a more working manner. Not that there was ever, you know, UEE intervention on any sort of scale anyway. Like, it was just a security guy showing up now and again, scanning your ship and telling you to go to jail, which was kind of pointless. He just flew away. This guy can't read me my rights before this quantum drive spills up. It doesn't really count, right? Why remove large vehicle caves? With 4.3 came the removal of quite a few caves, with some big enough to drive some vehicles or fly ships into. I get that these were legacy caves, perhaps built on an older design, but why were the large caves removed? Mining gems down in some was great with the rock, even though inefficient. Brom Rhodes says, I think the most annoying aspect of this is that they released the Atlas Geo and showed it mining in caves, and yet none of the new caves are sufficiently large to allow the Geo access. The only cave is the one explicitly designed to sell the Geo, which is the Hathor Cave. Many of these caves need a refactor to at least widen the corridors to allow a Geo access. That right there could be the answer that you're looking for. There was laughter heard coming from those caves. Fun is unacceptable, the caves had to go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the caves will be back. They might even be better than before. It would be hard for them not to be better than they were before. Please CIG, if no drones for Apollo, give tractor beam instead. With the unfortunate announcement of drones not being available for the Apollo, we're missing a vital component for extracting bodies off the battlefield. I propose to you a simple, temporary solution. Tractor beams. I mean, yeah, why not? In the concept art, it already looks like the Apollo is using a tractor beam to lift a body into the hull of the ship. This would be easy to implement. Well, you need to watch what you're saying there. And we could live out our fantasies of abducting helpless bodies out of harm's way. This makes the most sense with the current tech available to us. Please make this possible. More beam citizen, hard pass. He says it's temporary until drones are in. If you prefer no beam, then just don't use it. Feels like a knee-jerk, not read, conservatory comment. Or maybe I think beams are CIG go-to solution for every aspect of the game. You know the meaning of the word temporary. The alternative is nothing. You are stuck in your primitive anti-beam reaction. I hate beams too, but it's not the place for that. Hope that tractor beams can hold their airway open and keep their head and neck stable. Tractor beam noises and Half-Life ragdoll sounds intensify. Yeah, every time I've seen an unconscious person being tractor beamed, by the end of it their spine is likely absolutely liquefied. Drones should be remote control. Oh, they will be, dude. There's operator seats. Unacceptable. Hi CIG, I'm pretty new and what is this? If my gameplay is FPS, I can do FPS gameplay to get new armor and weapons for better FPS. If my gameplay is hauling, I can do hauling gameplay to buy all the better hauling ships for better hauling. If my gameplay is mining, I can mine, sell and get all the better ships and components for better mining gameplay. If my gameplay is dogfighting, I can't get all the better dogfighting ships and components by doing my gameplay. Wait, what? You lock dogfighting gameplay with another gameplay. This is unacceptable. Okay, that's a good point. In fact, no it's not. It's a terrible point. If my gameplay is dogfighting, I can't get all the better dogfighting ships and components by doing my gameplay. Why not? Oh, so it's because you have to go and do contested zones to get the better components, right? So do these guys. This hauling guy. He wants a size 2 freaking hauling component, better shields or whatever. Contested zones. OLP. Mining. Same. I mean, I get it, dogfighting, you really need better components. But I mean, these guys would argue that they need good components as well. I think he means the F8C, right? Specifically. Dude, you don't want to use the F8C for dogfighting anyway. Like, apart from that, all those other ships are in the store. The in-game store. All the relevant dogfighting ships are, I think. Or they will be at some point. So he means he has to go on foot and do FPS to get better components. Dude, just blow somebody up. It's like 5 minutes with a multi-tool. You literally can. They're going to stop you soon, but you can right now. Yeah, I don't get it. Blow up ship with good components, loot ship. Upgrade. Pretty sure the best components are locked behind OLP facilities. No, they're on other people's ships. Players' ships. Who probably got them from there. And yes, they are removing that with item bricking. I don't know if you know. You should probably know. I don't know if it's the next patch. I think it might be. But when a player reclaims their ship, all the components that were in that ship will become bricked. I think there's a timer involved, so you won't be able to salvage components from other people's ships. I know, but don't freak out. Actually, just freak out, because it's pretty bad. But there's supposed to be a way to unbrick the components and make them yours. Like a transfer of ownership step. Scraping the serial numbers off or something. This is part of the path to crafting and things like that. There might be some intermediary steps that are just very uncomfortable and annoying. Like, say, for example, ship components getting bricked with no way to transfer ownership to yourself. That would be really annoying. Surely they would want to implement those two steps at the same time. But we'll have to wait and see. The downside of this argument, blow up ship with good components, loot ship, upgrade, is they mostly disappear every patch. So that's also an issue. Free water. Should the ship team make water free on ships with kitchenettes and coffee maker dispenser? We have the coffee maker asset attached to some HABs, but this asset isn't in any of the shops to buy or dotted as are usable in many locations in the verse. I wonder how difficult a coding task that would be for a junior dev, for a major addition to the PU. This has got to be planned at some point, right? That was the whole point of putting in those kitchens, right? I actually don't know the answer to that. Space Tomato would know. Dude's an absolute archive. I can see this being a post 1.0 edition, if at all. But yeah, it should be a thing. It would be great to be a thing. Just a little quality of life thing. I mean, you could just run coolant in there. You don't need any of that. Canisters to fill up water tanks and coffee machines and stuff. No. Just hot tea and coffee, bro. Like, quit busting my balls. If medical ships don't spawn with Medigel, combat ships shouldn't spawn with munitions. Now we're at the crux. We are at the inflection point. This is going to be where the real arguments are going to start. Yes, no munitions, no fuel, no chaff, flares, no med gel, let's go. Make an economy. Bro, why you do this to me? I half feel like I should be one of the people who supports this. But I know in my soul it would crush me to have to do more work just to get a ship out of hangar. It would absolutely take it past the point of enjoyability, I think. Fair enough. If it's just a button and it's just a cost, then yeah, just do it. If it's just something I need to remember to do before I leave the hangar, just click one button on a mobi-glass, wait 5 seconds while things teleport into my ship, then fair enough. But if it's run around buying stuff, run around a solar system buying more missiles, hell nah. This guy. When your Polaris glitches out through the hangar and you lose 18 million Alpha UAC instantly from a bug. Yeah, the game is definitely ready for a full-fledged money sink economy. Oh no, not 18 mil, whatever will I do? Honestly, if I owned one, I would just not equip the torps unless I'm planning on using them. Or go salvage some. I told you it was going to be spicy in here. And it is spice. It's big spice. I'll be honest with you, I think this is the long-term plan. Didn't they try it a few patches ago? And everybody went ape shit. So I think basic ammo and stuff isn't going to be covered by your normal insurance plan. It might come under warranty or something like that. Some additional premium will be added. And yeah, ship spawning with missile stock leads to some pretty stupid practices. It does. It really does. But it is so convenient. My god. And I feel like the flow of getting into the game and just getting a mission or something done needs to be a lot more fluid before they add anything to slow it down. And my earlier argument about things needing to be in the game to be tested, to see how they fit in, you know, I'm a hypocrite. What can I say? Like, but if that's just a button click, fair enough. I'll pay the price. It is pretty stupid. Blowing up a Polaris to restock it is kinda stupid. But also the price of those torpedoes is stupid. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. Especially if you can't hit another ship that's got PDCs. Anyway, moving on. Can we please hold off on adding mechanics that involve putting stuff into things? Putting stuff into things is unreliable. I feel like this is just going to add more frustration. That's what she said. I like putting stuff into things, but then things cannot break other things. Okay. See picture. Two-handed. No. Single-handed. Yes. So we can have a pistol or a med tool or something. Expanding the thought here. Holding two things, one in each hand. Have dual wielding. Okay. Okay, you took that too far probably. But no, it's a good point. Being able to hold a key card for a door or something in one hand and a pistol in the other. I mean, because it's CIG, you automatically think, please God no. Think of all the issues that can cause. But that isn't how we should be thinking about things. In fact, you can already, let me see, there we go. You can already drag people and shoot a pistol. So like, come on. I like it. I would love to see that. I would even love to see dual wielding, actually. I mean, dual wielding might be a step too far, but there's no denying how freaking awesome it would be. Imagine flying EVA with two pistols. Like flying along corridors and stuff. Damn, that would be fire. Proposal, upgrade inactive Carrack medbay beds to tier 3 med beds. Yeah, I'm not even going to click that. Well, I will click it. Make sure there's no solid counter arguments. There's a lot of changes being proposed here. Let's just stick with medbay beds, getting tier 3 or whatever. That'd be cool. Is it possible a total dark cockpit? Alright, okay. This is the last one. But this is an issue very dear to my heart. I absolutely hate lit up cockpits. It's the dumbest freaking thing. What was it I was in? It was the Mustang. I was in the Mustang the other day. And it's like, holy crap. The contrast between the inside of the ship and the outside of the ship. Like it's gonna burn in my freaking OLED screen. And you notice like when you flick out to third person camera, you can just see a lot better. You can see the ground and you can just see better. If you could dim that cockpit, you would maybe be able to see a lot better as well. Hi, by night is difficult. In fact, real planes can switch off all flood cockpit light. Could it be possible to implement this one? This way we could see better outside. Thanks. The illuminated one of the cutter is the minimum light condition one. See, this is not too bad actually. This isn't too bad. Some other ships are egregious. I think this is the cutter with the lights on. Yeah. The light on the Titan dash got me to upgrade to a Cutlass many years ago. That got me to where I am now. It's marketing, I guarantee it. Yeah, let's burn their retinas out so they buy more ships. Yeah, should be addressed, definitely. Right, okay, let's just leave it there for today. That was good fun. It certainly wasn't as negative as it usually is around here. And there was some good back and forth. Pretty well thought out arguments, I thought. Let me know your opinions and your comments and stuff below. Don't hesitate. Take care out there. 07 guys.